Hey guys, it's Bob Pernger. I'm back with another 8-minute call. Don't stop believing. I don't know the rest of the song. Great song. That's really what the theme about this particular 8-minute call is. It's about faith, right? It's about faith. When you are weak in your faith and believing whatever it is you want to happen, what do you think the chances are it's going to happen? When you are strong in your faith and your belief is powerful, aren't the chances significantly better that whatever it is you want to have happen will happen? You see, faith is that thing about believing in things that aren't as though they are. Already seeing you in possession of that. Believing that you deserve that it's yours. And here's a little sideline to that for believers. Without faith, it's impossible to please God. So on the believer side of this, our job is to honor and to praise and to follow what God wants. So if you and God are aligned on something, let's say it's a certain financial outcome, a starting of a business, a relationship, seeing your children turn away from some sinful ways, belief and faith. What else do you really have? I mean, when you really think about it, you can muscle things. I've definitely muscled things, but without faith, does it really last? You can manipulate things, you can lie, you can cheat, you can steal, but those are just hollow victories, right? I mean, when you know it wasn't done on a pure heart and believing and seeing it and declaring it and speaking about it, when those things are in place, your chances of success are through the roof, right? There is nothing that's happened in my life that's good. Certainly God has blessed me in ways I didn't even see coming, but things that I wanted. My faith was so strong. My belief was so strong, and it would grow every day. That didn't mean that I got it right away. Didn't even mean that I got it the way that I wanted it. Because God has this ability to go over and above and more than I can think and imagine. And so he has blown me away. I mean, you've seen me recording these on this lake. I'm not off at some camp that I have. This is where I live. And for several years, I made my mind up that I was going to live on a lake. Pretty good goal to have. Live on a lake. And it's been a wonderful lake. It's a private lake and all that. But in the area that I lived in, there's a lot of lakes. Small, maybe 10 acres, 20 acres. This is a 50-acre lake. And I've been looking on all those other lakes, some bigger, with some other issues, and some smaller, and some bigger houses, some smaller houses, whatever. And so I'm into this process for a few years where I am believing. I am absolutely believing. Actually, on one of the other lakes, this area I'm in probably has, within 3 miles of here, probably 10 lakes, all of various sizes. And so it's in the process. I really hadn't gotten frustrated because I was believing and I had faith and I had seen it. And I would drive my bike around those other lakes and I would be believing and seeing it and believing that's my house or that's my house. And so one day, my real estate agent says, I'm going to contact every house around every lake within the 3 miles that you want to live in, and let's see what happens. So 2 days later, hey, we got a house to look at, but the guy doesn't really want to sell this house. I go, where is it? She goes, well, it's actually like a mile from the house you live in right now. I go, where is it? I didn't even know this lake existed. This is one of the finest lakes in all of Central Florida. It's called Lake Wanata, but it's also called Lost Lake. I've driven by this lake hundreds, if not thousands of times in my life and never knew it was here. Ever. And so, you see the lake. Wow, that's fantastic. And it's a private lake, meaning no one from the public can come in. Now, there's wealthier parts of town that have lakes too, and they have public access. So their weekends are a little wilder than my weekends. We might have 2 or 3 boats out here. We might have a fisherman every 2 or 3 days. But here's the point I'm trying to make. My belief was so strong that God and my goals would be achieved that this guy didn't even want to sell his house. He was just like wanting to know what people would think or lease it or something. The next day after visiting it, he goes, well, I really would sell it. Then it ends up through a process that the price drops $50,000. Of course, I end up getting the house, but everything about this was greater than and more than I could even see or believe. So my faith was strong that I'd be living on a lake. I mean, I didn't know how that was going to happen. That's another big one. I'll talk about hows. So whatever it is that you want, you have to fuel that with faith and belief, and certainly things like vision boards, being surrounded by other people. When I told you I rode my bike, around those lakes, I did odd things, like somebody had just been to Israel and had these little bottles of water that came out of the River Jordan. I went to that lake. I went to those lakes, rather, and I poured a little bit of water in them. And interestingly enough, this lake is connected to the lakes I was doing that in. So I was sprinkling action with faith. Now, we can't deny that you can't just want something and it happens, that you're going to be nudged, you're going to have to move forward, opportunities and people are going to come into your way, you're going to have to get uncomfortable. I mean, it was uncomfortable looking at those houses. It was uncomfortable getting rejected on offers. It was uncomfortable because I never wavered. I never said I don't deserve it. I never gave in. I believed. So don't stop believing. You got to hold on to that feeling, guys. Hold on to that feeling.